Okay, assalamu alaikum everybody. Sorry for being a little distracted in the beginning. How is everybody today? Please do say salams. Let me know where you are joining from as well. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Noora. Walaikum assalam, Muniza. Walaikum assalam, Ida, Mariam. Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam, Sister Lubna, Uruj. Walaikum assalam. Let me know where you are as well, which country or city you are in. I am in space, clearly. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Salma. Walaikum assalam, Sister Siti. Oh, I can't scroll. I can't. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I can't scroll up. Okay, anyways. Walaikum assalam from Saudi Arabia, Sister Salma. Walaikum assalam. Aruj from Pakistan. Sarah from Walaikum assalam. SM. Okay. It's a great name, SM. This thing just would let me scroll. That would be so great. Okay, walaikum assalam, Sister Aisha and Sister Saima. And those of you who haven't said salams, please do say salams. Let me just, walaikum assalam, Sister Nida from USA. And Sister Saima from Canada. Walaikum assalam. I'm oddly nervous today. Which is really odd. I don't know why. Anyhow, walaikum assalam, Sister Reem, Afroza, Shahida, walaikum assalam. Inshallah, these are regulars. Walaikum assalam, Shubana, Kasmina, Sister Afroza. Is there a Zoom link? There is a Zoom link actually. But oh, maybe I can put it in here. Okay, there you go. Zoom link on Facebook. Walaikum assalam, Sister Kulsum. Oh, you can't see? Let's see. Don't know. Okay, I don't know. And I'm working on a computer without a proper mouse. So this one is really bothering me. Okay. Walaikum assalam to everybody joining in. And I will introduce myself. My name is Ariba Farheen, and I live in Australia. Inshallah, today we will be talking about something really important for if you want to build strong children, and that is building self-esteem in them and gratitude in them, inshallah. So we'll come to that shortly. If you're just joining in, please do say salams. The webinar, how long is it going to be? I just want to give you an idea. It is going to be over an hour and a half. We'll see, inshallah, maybe it might be wise to take a break in between. So let me know when you feel that we need a break. And if you have questions in the end, you will be able to ask them, but I'm not sure if I can answer anything. So don't have high expectations. Alaikum assalam, Emaan from Sri Lanka, mashallah. Okay. Okay, I think we should begin because we have a long journey today to go through. Let me just get we have the slides ready, right? If you are on Zoom, of course, you can switch the way you are viewing things, so you can If you want to make the slides bigger, or obviously you want to make slides bigger, not me. so, so you can do that if that's not how it's showing up for you. Okay, Bismillah. As I said, my name is Ariba Farheen. I strongly believe that children working together can make a great difference in the world. And alhamdulillah, now I think I've proven that over the past decade to a great degree. There are many, these are just some pictures that I hope now we show them on the screen, showing you the great work my children, not my children, my students, who I feel like are my children, have done, from giving dawah to working on recycling projects to raising money for various causes, whether it's sponsoring orphan children like we just did in Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, we have raised over $7,000 in just under 2 weeks, I think, for orphan children, for water wells, for street children, and so much more. I feel when it comes to Islamic education, our expectations from our children are just too low. Do you agree? Which is why they're really suffering. Because Islamic education is really the life education that they need. The education that can really benefit them to be truly successful in this life. And we are really lacking in that right now. And one of the ways that Islamic education can really help us is building our self-esteem, which is exactly what we'll talk about today. What Islam teaches you and how Islam can build your self-esteem, what we learn from our deen. And you will be really surprised how fundamental that is. So let's begin. The term self-esteem is sort of a new concept, actually, the term itself. If you study self-esteem, you will soon realize that most people really are still a bit lost about it. It's, however, extremely important issue, one that affects everything and everything else in our lives, from our success in our relationships with people to our success in worldly things, in jobs, and so on. In fact, even our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, I will discuss exactly how that is. Self-esteem is defined as a reputation we acquire with ourselves. Self-esteem is defined as the reputation that we acquire with ourselves. I'm sorry, the slide's a bit off. We are not totally synced with each other. That's my fault. But let's go to the slide which says self-esteem is defined as the reputation we acquire with ourselves. So what made me talk about this topic? Number one, helping kids see the value in themselves is at the core of Emaan Power courses. I'm really not interested in lecturing them week after week, increasing their knowledge bank. I'm interested in inspiring them and helping them find the treasures in their own selves and in their deen. I use religion as an inspiration, as a guide to move them so they can take action. Through that action, inshallah, they begin to see what they hadn't seen in themselves before. And at the same time, they see the power of the guidance we have been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, Islam is just a set of rules for them, isn't it? A set of halal and haram do's and don'ts for them. If we want kids to love Islam, we want them to learn Islam, then a teaching of Islam has to add value to their lives. If you want your child, not just to learn, to practice their deen, want to practice their deen, be self-motivated, it starts with why. So it has to help them see what value is it adding in their lives, not just this life, next life. Otherwise, it's, as I said, it's just a set of do's, don't, why, I don't know. Secondly, I did a survey some time back asking parents what are their biggest issues. And one of the things it said was, number one was actually wasting time. And number two was, because I had put that in choices, was self-esteem. And I was surprised, like, why is self-esteem number 2 and number 1 is wasting of time? And I realized that we are missing a really strong connection there. Actually, self-esteem should be number 1, but parents did not say so because they didn't make that connection. What is the connection? If we don't value our own self, who we are, myself, would I value my time? Or would it be easy for me to throw it away? It would be easy for me to throw it away because I don't value my own self. What value does my time have? So, actually, part of the reason that our children are so easily wasting away their time, they don't respect it at all, is because they don't value their own selves. So, for all these reasons, I decided to talk about this in this webinar. Alhamdulillah, I've done this webinar many times before, and sisters, I found it immensely beneficial. And I hope you find it beneficial too for yourselves and for your children. So on that note, let's take a deep dive into how I started on this journey. And inshallah, by the time I finish this story, you would have many insights into your children's journey. I will talk about how I came to start seeing the value in myself and my time. And actually, the reason I'm sharing that, although some parts of it's actually are really hard for me to share publicly like that, but the reason I'm sharing is because this is how I discovered it, and I hope that through this story that of what I'm about to tell you about myself and how I discovered it, inshallah, it helps you discover it too, or at least see the path to it for yourself and your children. Okay, actually, most people will probably find it hard to believe that as I was growing up, I didn't have a single friend. And most of the time for my schooling years, from up till year 3 to year 9, from year 3 to year 9, I had zero friends. Zero friends. I was the most shy person I knew. The only Muslim girl in this school, and there was a lot of, I felt immediately as soon as I had entered the school, there was like rejection. And obviously that doesn't mean I had to stay that way. I could have done a lot of things to make that situation better, but I didn't. I was the girl who always ate alone. Plus, I was a total couch potato. You can ask my mom about it, who had to lock the TV away in a cupboard. I was very timid and very shy and never spoke up in the class. Never. So I completely understand, when I have children in my class. I know the answer, but just don't want to say it. I can't say it. Anyways, yet here I am. Alhamdulillah. So how did I come out of it? Anyways, that took a lot of, lot of things over the long life I have lived. And I think year 10, I changed schools, a different environment, and all that really helped me at that time. By 11, I had loads of friends, alhamdulillah. Many years later, I had a great career in IT. I was made the director, leading a team of people, pretty much all older men than me. And I've worked as a solutions architect for Australian government, for the Parliament House even, basically leading IT projects to deliver IT systems. These were all jobs paying 6 figures, so loads of money and a lot of respect. I loved my job. I was a total workaholic, working day and nights, weekends even, holidays, basically all the time. And I really loved it. Then after working for one particular project I worked for 4 years really intensely on, and I decided it's time for a change. I took an even better job, higher paying, better position, etc. Now, what happened, that was quite a moment in my life, because this particular job that I left after 4 years of intensely working, giving 4 long years of developing this particular project, this particular system, sacrificing so much time with my family, so much hours of my life, so many days that I could have come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I asked myself, what did I give up all that time for? What does that work mean for me? And for me, it meant nothing. The thing that day and night I was working for meant nothing to me at this moment. Like, okay, so I built that system and that system is, I moved on. It means nothing to me now. Not all fields are like that, but IT is kind of like that. It just all goes whoosh, right? Even no matter what you're building, you know it's going to last like 4 or 5 years and then something else will take over. And also not all people will be necessarily thinking the way I was, and because I had made the mistake prior to starting working, is not setting a proper intention, which I think led to this. I questioned my intention for working now. Why am I working? I thought, okay, I work for money I made. But was that the real reason? The question remained in the new job. I got involved in some marketing aspects. Some of their practices were very dishonest and lacked integrity. You know how things are in marketing, you exaggerate, and I don't know where my loyalties were with the client or with the first people employing me, and so on. So, but I was told, well, this is how the world works, right? But every time I would go and pray and do sujood, I just knew this is not right. That's why I feel like sujood is one of the most clarifying positions in your life that will help you bring back you to the right path. When you say, I submit to you, Allah, and then you discover all the things that where you are not submitting it. Anyways, working there meant I had to compromise on my integrity, my honesty, which is compromising on my deen, which I couldn't. So I decided to resign with no other job to go to. It was a very difficult thing for me to do, but very liberating. I hadn't realized that it would be so until I did it. I didn't know what the future will hold now. I was unemployed. I was unemployed. I hated that feeling. I dreaded telling anyone that I don't have a job. But guess what? It was only for 1 week. I had another very much better, higher paying job within a week. But I was back in the same crazy routine, working day and night. But something had changed this time, because that question had entered my mind, and I kept wondering, as a Muslim, I'm meant to struggle for the sake of Allah. What am I struggling for? I again questioned, what was my intention for working? Was my intention for even, what was my intention for even studying, doing this degree and all that? I wasn't really working to support a family like many, maybe some of you are, and many parents are, many people in the world are, they're working to, and that's one of the most noble causes to work to support a family. But that wasn't the case with me. That's in fact, if that's your intention, that's in self an act of worship. But that wasn't the case with me, as I said. I wasn't really working to support a family or anything now, and I knew for sure I didn't really have any deep love for money. Because earlier I thought, okay, I was working for money, and I can use that money to do good. But now I felt like, no, money is not it for me. Because I quit my job. I left that money. So money is not, what I'm working for, really, the purpose. I then thought that maybe it's not about money, but maybe prestige. That's what I was after. What mattered to me was doing better and better. Maybe that's what it is. I was just competing and competing. I really don't know exactly what it was till today. Maybe I was just working because that's just what I was meant to do after my degree. You go to school, you get a job, you work. All right. That realization wasn't acceptable to me. I can't be spending my days, day after day, standing in front of Allah and say, I spent them all this time and energy, all the skills you gave me in developing better and better IT systems. Mind you, I was still volunteering for many organizations, working as a Sunday school teacher for over 6 years, giving money in charity every year, and all the other family stuff going on as well, studying Islam, etc. But what bothered me most was my intention for working, which was a major part of every day of my life, was not for the sake of Allah. It just wasn't. I spent my time and energy in a struggle, but that struggle was not for the sake of Allah. I kept asking myself if I'm using all the skills, the time and energy Allah has given me for His sake, as I'm meant to. Do you think I had high self-esteem at this point? I was achieving a lot. I was leading big teams, earning a lot, getting prizes and everything, like gold stickers. Do you think I have high self-esteem at this point of my life? If self-esteem is attached to achievements, by that standard, I should have had a really high self-esteem at this point. What do you think? I had high self-esteem at this point in my life? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat box. Somebody's saying yes, somebody's saying more, which I think means no. You should have done like a poll here, right? No. Yeah, I didn't have high self-esteem. I think I had very low self-esteem at this point in my life. What I had was confidence. I had a lot of confidence, right? I had a lot of confidence in my abilities and my skills, that I can lead, I can good communicator, I do this or that. Right? I had a lot of confidence. Confidence and self-esteem, totally different things. But yeah, they feed into each other, but different things. I can be confident that I can solve, a math problem because I'm good at math. But if you'd ask me to draw even a rat, it will not look like a rat. It'll look like some kind of a amoeba or something. Because I know I have no confidence in that ability. I can't draw well. If you ask me to color something, I'm pretty sure it will look ugly. Even though I like to believe, no, it looks good. But I don't have that. It's just, I'm not good at that. I don't have confidence in that. So confidence comes, differently from, it's completely two different things. Confidence and self-esteem, don't confuse them. People often confuse confidence with self-esteem, but they are two different things. All this work, all this achievements, all this stuff did not make me value myself more as a person. Not much. Did I think I was capable? Yes, I actually did think, as I said. I thought, but I didn't think it was of much value, that capability, because I was still missing something very important. Purpose. I was missing purpose. And hence, I didn't value myself. By the way, even just knowing that you're capable is very important. And that is actually one of the major factors that will help you build self-esteem, that helped me launch Emaan Power later on, because I knew I was capable of doing it. I had seen what I was capable, not just because somebody had told me you are special. No, because I had seen that through my job, through my work, through my volunteering, so on. I had seen that, yeah, I am capable. I can lead well. I can teach well. I can do this well, do that well. So and that's what made me realize that I can use those capabilities to do more good in this world, to help people. And I saw the need where the people really needed help when I was going to the Sunday schools, or how children, it just felt like absolute, to me, honestly, it felt like injustice to the children. Coming there day, week after week, week after week, and what are we giving them? But I had seen what I was able to do with them. And I knew that my capabilities are much more value there. I was about to find purpose somewhere. Anyways, that's a very important role we as parents and teachers play in the lives of children. Some people played that role in my life, helping me see my capabilities, and I'm eternally grateful to them, especially my mother and my teachers, who didn't just tell me, you are special, you're smart, but showed me by challenging me to bring out the best in me. Alhamdulillah for giving me these people, all those other challenges in my life that Allah put me through, that helped me see this and bring out these in me. Anyways, I decided to change things. I had always wanted to teach children about Islam and absolutely loved it, talking to Allah about with the little ones. And it's just an amazing feeling. Unlike the IT systems I worked on, I knew that this would stay with them and with me, this achievement, not just for the rest of this life, but the rest of next one as well, inshallah. And I could see that this is where really the need was. This is 2012. Alhamdulillah, we have so much more available, and schools are trying to do much better in many ways now. 2012, imagine, things much worse at that time. So, and it just made me really sad that how could we just let this injustice go on with children? And unfortunately, it's still going on. I changed jobs. I took a part-time job, meant less money, but more time to invest in developing this project. I went and did a business course in London in 2012, and then I launched Emaan Power with the determination to do something great to empower children, to use their Emaan power to achieve great things in the path of Allah. So it's been almost a decade now, and it's been an incredible experience. I have taught so many children and met so many amazing mothers. I never saw myself as a very creative person before. I remember once me and my mom were sitting in a doctor's office, and the doctor, my mom explained something to him. I was like, well, like how she did something with something, or I can't remember what it was. But anyway, so the doctor was like, wow, you're a really creative person. And my mom said, yes, I am very creative. And then the doctor looked at me and he asked, are you also very creative? And I'm not a kid now, by the way. This is not, I was an adult at that point. Anyway, so the doctor looks at me and says, so are you also very creative? And I said, no. Simple answer, no, I am not. So, and the doctor didn't have any answer. But later on, my mom said something to me, and she said, maybe you haven't found the thing that you're creative at. And I didn't get it at that point. Like, what? You're creative? Well, you're not. Right? I'm just not. But now I get it. I have found the thing I'm really creative at. Alhamdulillah. I do feel like a part of me was dead before, which has come to life since I started teaching and inspiring children. And I'm afraid that many children are in the same boat as me. Many adults are too, who don't even know the treasures hidden inside of them. And if we don't help them, many of them will never know. They will never get to know that, what was hidden inside of them. The foundation of Emaan Power was this experience of mine, of course. I would never say Emaan Power gave me value. But yes, using the gifts Allah has given me Okay, yeah, we need to go really back in the slides. Sorry. Sister Faheen, if you can go really back, go to several slides previously. Maybe we should have coordinated this better, right? But the next slides are really important. So I want to make sure that we get this right. Okay, let me get to the okay, slide number 35, if you could please go to that. Slide number 35. How's everybody going so far? Okay, good. We are there. Meanwhile, I was just reading some of the comments. Jazakallah khair for all the nice comments. I know I can't scroll. Anyways, okay. So I would never say Emaan Power gave me value. But yes, using the gifts Allah has given me, working hard, struggling to overcome the weaknesses, so I could make this dream come true, fulfill my purpose, is exactly what gave me value. I value myself now. I value my time. And I value my life now. I value my determination and I value my stubbornness, which is a weakness. I value both my weaknesses and my strengths. And most of all, I am so much more grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today because of the way He made me. I hope you can see now what I referred to in the beginning. The key to self-esteem are our actions. Actions which are for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Actions through which we utilize the gifts Allah has given us for the purpose He has given us. When we act to challenge ourselves so we can grow in the potential Allah has given us. When we act to stand firm in what we believe in and we rush with good deeds. Don't be mistaken. I'm not talking about achievements. I'm not. I'm talking about the effort we make to rush forth towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with everything He has given us rather than sit and watch life pass by. And isn't this exactly what Emaan is? Emaan is not just Emaan in your belief, just faith. That's not what Emaan means. Emaan is belief that shows in your actions. Emaan is a verb. It is belief that shows in your actions. Actions that we do with sincerity. Actions we do knowing that the help of Allah is always near. Following the footsteps of the prophets. Okay. Actions that we do the third, sorry, so as you can see with the slides, these are the pillars of Emaan. Actions that we do with sincerity, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Him, knowing the help of Allah is always near. Second pillar of Emaan, the help of Allah, the angels who are always helping us, bringing us the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, following the footsteps of the prophets, the example that's been set forth for us, the inspirations that have been set forth of us. Believing in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the guidance in accordance with the guidance of the Quran. And the fourth pillar of Emaan, we do our actions in the footsteps of the Prophet, seeking the inspirations of the Prophet. Fifth pillar of Emaan, doing our actions, seeking motivations from our hope and the reward of our actions, fearing the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believing in the day of judgment. And last but not the least, the sixth pillar of Emaan, as I said before, it's not about the goal, it is about the effort. As we know, the result is in the hands of Allah. We act, we put in the effort, but we know that we will get and only get what is in our Qadr. So it's not about the actual achievement. It's not about the actual result. It's about the effort you put in it, because that's in your hands. Result is not in your hands. Result is not up to you. It is what Allah will give you. And so we form the 6 pillars of Emaan, or should I say, 6 pillars of self-esteem. This is the value of a Muslim. This is the value of a Muslim. We know how Allah values us according to our Emaan. Emaan is the self-worth of a Muslim. This is how Allah values us, and this is how we must value ourselves. And any other way of valuing yourself is not going to work out for you. People attach their value to how much money they have, how many friends they have, what type of clothes they wear, branded or not, how beautiful they look, or how much people love them, how much my children love them, how much my husband loves me. That's my self-worth. Or sometimes to the color of their skin. So, so many things people attach their value to. It's not going to work out. It's not. What is your self-worth? It is your Emaan, your actions, which are in line with those 6 pillars that form your Emaan. Of course, we can go into a lot more depth, and there is a lot more depth to it than I just said in the last 2-3 sentences. But we won't go into this much for now. Kids don't need gold stars and stickers to build self-esteem. That's a mistake. They need something to challenge them. They need something to show what incredible gifts they have in themselves. They need someone to guide them to discover the greatness in them. Moreover, they need purpose to use those gifts. Mom telling them you are wonderful or you did a good job makes you feel good for a little while. Maybe, maybe not even for a little while. But really gives them little benefit. And after a little while, it doesn't really mean much to me, especially when it's coming from mom. It's mom. She thinks I'm wonderful. So what? Everybody's moms think that. After a while, it loses its meaning. Everyone thinks mom thinks they're amazing. I learned, I remember I met this girl, her mom was sitting there telling her, you're very special. And she, in front of me, she said to her mom, I know you have been telling me I'm special, but when am I going to do something special? So that's it. And of course, our intentions are the best when we are telling our children that they're special. You want them to feel valued, but that's unfortunately not the answer. I learned something horrific on YouTube, not recently now, but many years ago. I'm not sure if this stuff, how it ranks on YouTube now or not, but I had searched, am I ugly? And so if you search, am I ugly? You will see videos of girls as young as 9, 10, 12 asking the question from total strangers, am I ugly? Sit in front of the camera and they show their face, just like that, just like you see this girl asking, what do you think? Am I ugly or not? Did their parents not tell them that they're not ugly or that they should look deeper than looks? Be not so concerned about that. Actually, yes, they did tell them that. And in case of this girl, she tells you in that video that my mom tells me, my friends tell me, then I'm beautiful. But they say, but it's my mom, my friends. They just say things like that because they love me. So what happened? Of course, there are a lot of issues here, not just one, but one of them is the fact that this little girl has been shown that told that she's special, but not shown what is that makes her special. What is it really valuable about her? If she had been using those gifts right now for the right purpose, then do you really think that the question on her mind would have been, would this question would have even mattered to her? That how does she look? Would she even have cared about that? How do I look? I don't think she would have even bothered with that. We know that youth is a time of energy. Today, with age of instant gratification that we live in, children are getting that instant gratification from games, social media, which is killing their desire in them to do more, to persevere. Why bother? They're not motivated to do anything. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go here. To have to, right? All they want to do is just sit in one place, right? Or not go anywhere, not do anything, just sit at home in front of a device. That will be best, right? And that's it. What's happened? Where is that energy? Where is that motivation? Where is that spirit that maybe a few years ago they did have it? What happens when they play games? For a few hours, when the child is playing a game, those games give them a false sense of purpose, a false sense of achievement that feels real for those moments, fulfilling their very human need. They're saving the world. They are valuable. And with network games now, they're part of something great together with other kids. But as soon as mom calls, what are you doing? How long are you playing? Switch off the game, do this. Did you do your homework? You have to turn off the game, and that world is shattered. Back to the same problems of life, where everything you are where you back to the same problems of life where you're just a kid in an adult's world, too young to understand much, too young to do much, too young to be of value too much. This is not how it was at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is not even how it was, maybe 100 years from now, that a 12-year-old will be considered too young, right? They would be considered, responsible enough to have a family. Anyways, we're not giving them that much responsibility, but we do underestimate the children too much, suppress them that way, suppress what could come out of them at this age. The problems they were dealing with will often have, while they were playing the games, would have become bigger. Homework is late, exams are coming, chores are piling up. So what is the escape? What do I do to feel good again? What can I do to quickly feel good? Get out of this massive stress that has built up, all the work I have to do. What's the quick fix? How do I get the dopamine hit? Go back to the game. Get that instant gratification. Get that dopamine hit from your brain. And the cycle goes on, becoming worse and worse. We see the results of it in the rising depression amongst children. Depressed children. Teenagers, not just teenagers, in fact. I know kids as young as 10 years old, and this is a fact. This is, you can look up research papers which will tell you that. Kids as young as 10-year-old are depressed and worse, committing suicide. The quick fix of dopamine they get from social media or games has stolen their spirit from them, killing their energy. And we need to revive this energy by raising their aspirations. Companions yesterday had this opportunity. Not only did they have the company of Rasulullah, actually that time gave them the opportunity to rise for a much greater purpose. Work for that purpose. We need to give our children a higher purpose, raise their standards, raise their aspirations, raise our own expectations from them. Believe in them, believe in the gifts Allah has given them. We need to give them the opportunity to use those gifts for a higher purpose. Without that opportunity, use themselves to work for a higher purpose, we are leading them vulnerable to fulfilling those needs in all kinds of ways that will hurt them. They will look for those ways. They might find some, and they might be extremely harmful. Either they will find very temporary but very harmful ways to fulfill that human need, or most of the time they will sink into depression, feeling worthless. This is why I created Emaan. This is why I launched Emaan Power, but most importantly, this is why I created Rising Heroes, which is an opportunity for them to work for a higher purpose together. Because kids need that togetherness feeling. All of us need that company. Opportunity for them to work in the company of other children together, feel that company of companions who are driven to serve Allah, for working to solve a problem for a much higher purpose than the fake purpose the game gives them, the fake saving of the world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that He created us in the best of forms. We are the best of His creation. And He sent us to this earth with dominion over all other creations. Allah subjected other creations to serve us. Everything from the sun and the moon to the plants and animals are all working every day to serve us human beings. Subhanallah. Do you think if Allah wanted, He could have made you a cockroach? Wasn't it hard for Him? Of course not, but He didn't. He created you in the best form, as His best creation. And unfortunately, there are people in the world who consider themselves more worthless than a cockroach. Astaghfirullah. What incredible potential we have in us. And we need to remind the children of that. Not just with words, by opening the door for them. We have no idea. You don't know. None of us know what your child is capable of. Not the children and not you, not me. Only Allah knows what we are capable of. We do, however, know that we are capable of being good Khalifas of Allah. Only Allah knows what we are capable of. Whether we reach that potential of being great Khalifas of Allah on this earth, be great leaders, or really actually become more worthless than a cockroach, lowest of the low, this is up to you to decide. This is up to ourselves decide. Prophet Muhammad said, every one of us is a leader, a shepherd. whether it be a mother, a father, you're leading your family. Today we have been talking about self-esteem, but what is in the last few but guess what? In the last few years, there has been an increase in the self-esteem education in children. But in line with that, there has been an increase in narcissism in university students. So basically, what happened is for years, self-esteem was taught. And then when they looked at these kids as they grew older, they went to universities, they had become really narcissist. Narcissistic was all about me, 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 me. I'm great. I'm special. I'm wonderful. Right? Increase in arrogance, increase. Actually, we see that often now. Unfortunately, it's so much more prominent because that's that generation which grew up by that you are special kind of thinking. Not really. I mean, I don't think it was. I think there was a big flaw in the way self-esteem was taught, and people recognize that now. It seems funny, but what is going wrong here? I think a person who doesn't believe in Allah or doesn't believe in a God at least is going to always have such issues. It's important and very important to remind kids to be grateful for the gifts they have. As they grow in self-esteem, they should be guided to grow in gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation to self-esteem. Gratitude is the end result of self-esteem, and gratitude grows with self-esteem. I find we focus on teaching children to thank Allah for pretty much everything, from clothes to food, family, roof over your head, but not for who they are. Give thanks to Allah for yourself, for your strengths and your weaknesses. The way Allah designed you, the set of gifts He put in us, just unique to you. Shouldn't we thank Him for them? Isn't that much more valuable than any amount of clothes, any amount of houses you have? We teach them to thank for the good result in the exam. But do we remind them to thank Allah for the effort they put in studying for the exam? Isn't that what we should thank them for Allah for? That I was able to study. I put in that effort. Isn't that much more valuable? Reward the effort. Appreciate the effort. Have a party to celebrate the effort before the exam result, because that's more valuable. Result is not in our hands. A child who grows up thanking Allah for who they are, thanking Allah for the color of thanking Allah for the incredible abilities they have in themselves, who knows how to use them to solve problems, not just sit idly. Do you really think their self-esteem is going to be shattered if and when they go to school and they're bullied about those abilities? Who they are? They have been thanking Allah for who they are. But gratitude and generosity are linked. I think maybe we should have a 10-minute break now. And I will talk about this part, and how gratitude cannot be without generosity, and how you teach that gratitude with generosity, inshallah. And before we go on a 10-minute break, I'll leave you with one question. And that is nurturing low self-esteem a sin? Do you think nurturing low self-esteem, is it a sin? So think about that and tell me your answer after you think about it. And let's take a 10-minute break. We'll come at 10 minutes past the hour, right? You guys think that's a good idea to take a break now? Let me know in the chat box. Take a break or not? Yeah, right? I think so. Great. So let's take a 10-minute break now and we'll come back and think about this question in the meanwhile. Assalamu alaikum. You're back. I hope you're back. Is everybody back? Yes, yes, yes. I see lots of yeses. Oh. So go back up the slide. Can we nerd? Yeah. Okay, I see some answers here. And if you have given it a thought and you want to answer, you can still answer. Clearly, I was eating in the break. I saw some. I'm trying to scroll up to them. Chat box. Alhamdulillah, I missed the first part. So good to see you after a while. Loads of du'as for you. Jazakallah khair, Sister Javairia. And I really appreciate all your du'as. The best gift. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always have mercy on you. Okay, Sister Siti said, just a thought, nurturing something makes it grow bigger. Yeah, of course, you're making it grow bigger, right? So low self-esteem, if you're nurturing it, that's the point. Like, you're just letting it fester. And how would you do that? You're like self-pity. I'm nothing. I'm worthless. I can't do it. It's just not gonna happen, right? All those kind of thoughts. Nurturing low self-esteem means being ungrateful to Allah. This is Sister Uruj. Nurturing low self-esteem means being ungrateful to Allah's blessings and losing hope in Allah. So that makes it a sin, I think. Okay, great. What else do you guys think? Let me check on Facebook comments. Any thoughts there? Waalaikumsalam. So everybody's saying salams. Welcome back. It will make it worse. But is it a sin? It will make it worse, but is it a sin? How to bring out the best in your child and detect their hidden talent. Get the talent detector. You can buy it at Amazon. I'm just kidding. It's a good question, Sister Sarah. That is the key question. And I'm glad you're asking that question, because now we are asking the right questions. Of course, the questions we ask lead us to the right answers, inshallah. So they are very important. So good question, Sister Sarah. How do you bring out the best in your child and detect their talent? As I said, it's going to be the actions. It is going to be giving them those challenges which are for a higher purpose, giving them those opportunities that help them bring that out in them. It's not going to be that just sit here and doing nothing is not going to bring out anything, right? We have to put them in that environment. We have to keep challenging them higher than what you think they're capable of. One of the thing that often has always surprised me, and it should not surprise me because this is what I do, right? I've been doing that for so many years, but it always surprises me is what the kids are capable of. and it has caught me so many times. Like I give them a project, okay, you're gonna sponsor an orphan, and I'm like, I don't think they will be able to do it. So we need this much money to sponsor this many orphans, but let's set the goal at really low. Like even this year I set the goal at, I think, 4,000, 5,000, something like that, and we are almost at we are over 7,500 already, alhamdulillah. So, and I remember the first year, I still have a screenshot of it, that the fundraiser they did for, I think, water wells. And I was like, I don't think they will do it. So let's just set this goal at 2,000. And if they can't raise that money, then I will, donate some. I mean, this is what I thought. We need $2,000 for a well in Somalia. If they can't raise 2,000, maybe they will raise $500. So we'll get a well in Bangladesh, which is $500, right? And so the goal was set at 2,000 with my really low expectation, and the children raised $10,000, more than that, right? So that's how incredible they are. And we have low expectations from our children, very low expectation. And we only probably raise our expectations when it comes to math and science, because the school forces us to do that because of the competition at school of higher grades, and there are reasons for that. There is a part I didn't cover today, and I had cut that out of the webinar, and that is about the variance in our characters, in our weaknesses, in our strength. Maybe I'll talk about that some other day, more detail. But the school doesn't respect those variances most of the time, and there's a really good video by Sir Ken Robinson on that, like, so explaining the foundations of school and that. But basically, the school is just trying to fit the child in a particular mold so the class can go on, right? Because they're in a class, they all have to study the same thing in the same way, score the same kind of results. So it doesn't matter if you're, round or square or a triangle, they're going to fit you in one size hole, no matter what kind of peg you are. And that they can do that. You can fit each child in the round peg, a round hole, but you will cut out parts of that child. And that's what happens to many children, thousands of children all over the world. And I feel it happened to me too. That a part of us is killed in order to that we can fit into that mold and succeed in that way. So we need to get out of that and open opportunities for children to thrive. And that's why I built Emaan Power. That's why I built Rising Heroes, because that's the environment. Whenever parents ask me, oh, my child is not praying, is not motivated to do this, I get all kinds of various questions. My immediate answer nowadays is Rising Heroes, because I know that will help that child. It will bring life back into that child. But obviously, it's not always available. But that's an opportunity. We have to give our children these kinds of opportunities and these kinds of environments. Anyways, let's move on to what we were talking about. I got distracted by, or nicely distracted by that question from Sister Sarah. Are you still here, Sister Sarah? Yeah. Sister Lubna said, yes, it's a sin. You will become ungrateful for all the blessings you have. Very good. Nurturing self-esteem will not be a sin as long as you stay humble. Nurturing self-esteem or nurturing low self-esteem is what we're talking about. Okay. Let's see. So self-esteem, as we said, is what you is a reputation you hold of yourself, right? So if that's linked to your Emaan, of course, growing it cannot be a sin, right? But the question that we were asking is nurturing low self-esteem a sin then? Kind of answer that question in that way. Anyways, let me ask you this. Is it a sin to have a big ego? Is it, it's not an action. Just having a great ego is not an action, right? Allah punishes us or rewards us for, we are not punished for the thoughts we have, right? In most cases. But it's only the actions that the punishment is for. So it's not an action, of course. These are feelings by themselves. So we can't, we can't say that necessarily that ego in itself is the sin. It's just a thought. We are not punished always. Sometimes there are exceptions to this. Allah doesn't punish us for our thoughts. He doesn't even punish us for our bad intentions. In fact, he rewards us for overcoming the bad intention. But can these thoughts lead to grave sin? What do you think about Shaitan's self-esteem? Do you think Shaitan had high self-esteem? Or he had really low self-esteem? I don't know, how, like 50-50. He needed Adam to be lower than him. His arrogance wasn't his high self-esteem, but his insecurity. Because perhaps his low self-esteem. He didn't think he was good enough. He, in fact, us thinking I'm not capable, I'm not much, is a great victory for Shaitan on us. Then how can then it be pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You could look at this the opposite way, that he had really high self-esteem, that he had become so arrogant, right? So that's the catch. He was not grateful. Self-esteem without gratitude, damaging to you. So in fact, us thinking I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I'm a loser, I'm not capable of this or that, is a victory of Shaitan. And I'm not issuing any fatwas here, as you can see, I'm just arguing for both sides. But I just want you to think deeply about it, deeply about what I'm about to say next. I don't know for myself if I was going to continue down my life without valuing my time, my health, my abilities, just considering myself a loser. I didn't think I could contribute much to anything. I do the fard and just keep going. Do you think that would be an okay way for me to live my life? Would that be okay for me? To think I'm not good enough to do anything, I can't do anything, I'm not worth much. Would that have been okay? No. You know the answer. We know Allah questions us and will question us about all of this one day. What did you do with all that he gave you? But did you wonder, why is it such a crime? Why is he questioning me about my time, my energy, my skills? When we deny our abilities, we deny the responsibility to use them. When we deny the responsibility to use them, we deny the world of all the good that was meant to come to the world through your abilities. Let me repeat. When we deny our abilities, we deny the responsibility to use them. When we deny the responsibility to use them, we deny the world of all the good that was meant to be contributed to the world through your abilities, through the abilities of your child. And isn't that an injustice? Isn't that an injustice not just to yourself, but to the entire world? Allah says, I created you in the best form. And what do we say? I'm not capable. For someone with low self-esteem, it is easier to think that my actions can't make much impact. So it doesn't even matter if I do nothing. And can you see how this is much worse in case of children? I'm just a kid. What impact can I have? I'm just a kid. It's an adult's world. And in doing so, the world misses out on all the good that could have come to it because of you. Unfortunately, I think we use it as an excuse many times. In fact, the way out of out of this low self-esteem is to find out what you are capable of, to find out what you are capable of is to work, try different things. The answer to Sister Sarah's question is to try different things. Find out what is best in you. We're not going to get like a wahi. Maybe some people would, I don't know. But it's going to have to be putting yourself to work, going into a struggle. How often do our children face struggles today? Allah puts us in struggles, not just because He wants to see how you will do, but so you can bring out what is best in you. It's not like you can just simply lie there and suddenly you just like, okay, yeah, that's it. Right? There's no detector for that, except putting to work, except going through challenges, except going through struggles. Often teenagers especially say, it's my life. No, it isn't. Also, it's my life. I'll do whatever I want. It's not. It's not just your life. This life is a gift to you. A gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a purpose. And our jobs as adults is to remind them of that constantly. That they remind them of what they're denying the world when they deny themselves. Let's take the example of an alcoholic father. When he sinks into alcohol, he doesn't just destroy his life. He takes a father away from his children, a husband from his wife. If he had chosen not to destruct himself like this, perhaps he could have been a great doctor, a great teacher, a scientist, a writer, a great parent. Whatever he could have touched and impacted dozens of lives, and now he has denied all that good. Imagine the ripple effect of that. And isn't that an injustice to the world? Isn't that an act of immense ingratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When we deny our capabilities, we take away from the world the good we could have contributed. Isn't that injustice? In fact, isn't that an act of immense ingratitude? Allah says, I created you as a Khalifa on earth, and I say, I can't do anything. I'm not good enough. How do you become good enough? And look at the world today. On one side is extreme pain, and on the other, extreme luxury. We are the ones who have been in luxury, whether we appreciate it or not. I don't have that much time or energy or this or that. I'm not capable. The leaders should do something about this or that. I am not capable. And the kids are learning that. When I see the children around the world, the people around the world suffering in Gaza, in Syria, in Kashmir, in so many places, so many countries in the world, and now today we even see that in West. I have so much fear in my heart, but not for them. For myself. Just the blessing of peace that enable us to do what many people may never be able to do, because that's just not an opportunity open to them yet. And Allah knows best. Allah didn't give us all these blessings so because we are more special than them, or just by chance, like randomly, you get to live here and you get to live in this war. Allah gave us so we can use them to help them. They're going through this struggle and earning their place in Jannah through it. What about us? Often we are unaware of even what our struggle is. Our lives sometimes are that comfortable. And I personally feel as an adult, the more I waste myself, the more is my injustice to the world. But we do our best, right? We can do our best. One of the best things that you are doing in your life is raising a Khalifa of Allah, a valuable leader who will, inshallah, be a light to this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings in doing the job we're meant to do, and forgive us for our ingratitude. This is why, so you asked me what we can do about this. This reading system, Muniza's comment, we should be grateful for what we have, and also having a positive view will help establish positive actions. That's right. So how do we do this? How do we build self-esteem in children? What kind of opportunities can we give them? I give them that through Rising Heroes. This is how I do it. And I want to give them the avenue to do what they love to do and add value to this world through it. Pretty much every life course I teach, where I'm teaching the children live, is, and there's so many, alhamdulillah, they've been part where kids go out, do, all these kind of different projects, but they were individual projects. And I always felt like I'm missing the part where I can guide them to what it takes to be a leader, guide them through the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his, how he was a visionary, how he was a strategic planner, and benefit them through that. Guide them how to approach a problem and design a solution and implement this and work with others, motivate others. Rising Heroes gave me the opportunity to teach them all that, to truly now focus on that, to be a leader, coach them to be that. It's an opportunity for children to work in a company of other Muslim children, learning to be leaders, striving for a higher purpose than just scoring well in a test. An opportunity to use their gift to design solution to real problems in the real world, not the fake world of video games. Raising their aspirations, expecting more from them, and coaching them to achieve that. I remember one of the students from Rising Heroes, our mom told me that she's been going around everywhere and telling all the kids that she knows, they're like, I think 12 or 13 years old, that we can do much more. We don't have to be just a kid. We are capable of so much more. And that, I love that, that, children absorbing that, yeah, I don't have to be just a kid who in an adult's world, not capable of much, not of much value to this world. I am of value to this world. This world needs me. And I know how to approach the problems in this world and tackle them and solve them, and inspire others to solve them. So Rising Heroes teaches them to be problem solvers, designer, not just people who sit in the sidelines, complain about what is happening, feel sad for all that they can't, that they see, but they can't do anything about it. Giving them a positive environment, which is so critical for their mindset, so critical for, to be motivated as well, to move together as a team rather than alone, like the companions were. Giving them a positive peer environment, working together, influencing each other to serve Allah, to race towards Allah. Last year, Rising Heroes, we had 4 teams, and they were working on, they decided the kids have a lot of freedom in this course. So one of them chose to address bullying, which is something that children feel much more than perhaps adults. Then one decided to do something about helping animals who are being abused. Someone decided they want to do something about water in Pakistan, provide clean water to people there. One decided they want to do something about air pollution. And I remember I had done this in my city as well. One of the projects those kids came up with was helping the parents who have lost their children to miscarriages or SIDS, actually, sudden infant death syndrome. So it's incredible that these children have had, this in somewhere in their heart. Now they got the opportunity to actually do something about it. They saw these problems in the society that the parents are suffering. Maybe they had seen somebody in their, circle go through this, and they wanted to do something about it. So rather than growing up as people who see these problems, yeah, it's so sad. They became people who did something about it. They learned from the example of Rasulullah. And they learned from the example of the companions, their achievement, their struggles, and even their mistakes. Because the companions were also not perfect. Just like we are not perfect. We make massive mistakes. And then what happens when you make a mistake? I'm not good enough. Sink in low self-esteem. That's companions made huge mistakes at times, massive mistakes. We talked about that in the course, but then we talked about how they raised themselves from out of it. They were in such a powerful environment which allowed them to thrive, to dream big, that taught them what it takes to start a project, helped them learn the design thinking, which alhamdulillah, all those years of working in IT projects have helped me. And what is design thinking? When you take a project, you don't often, our first instinct is, oh, this is a problem. Let's brainstorm some solutions. That's not how the way you go about, a leader goes about solving a problem. The first step is to understand the problem. So often kids went out investigating, interviewing people, as we have some wonderful videos of kids interviewing other people about the problems that they had chosen to tackle. Flourish their creativity, their problem-solving skills, their leadership skills, and their communication skills, and their teamwork skills. Bully Busters was one of the team that they launched their own website. They had khutbahs about bullying, weekly interactive shows about bullying, where they talked about various aspects of bullying, gave other children an opportunity to share their stories of bullying and share solutions and advice. Water team came together to raise money for not one, but 4 water wells in Pakistan. Alhamdulillah, by children. How many children? Not even 10. Alhamdulillah. This is the power of our children. Animal guardians raised money for the animal welfare and prepared videos teaching children to build homes and feeders for animals in their homes. And I did this with, the competition, but so many other children built homes for animals looking at their videos. Alhamdulillah. They don't even know. We don't even know the impact of our actions. We will only find out on the day of judgment. This is just some of the benefit they brought to the world. The benefit that will help improve the lives of the creations of Allah, not just humans, all creations of Allah, for many years to come. But the benefit that has come, the benefit that had come to themselves by being part of this mission, by being leaders, learning to face a problem and solve it, I believe that's far more valuable, because they are so much more valuable. That's preparing a leader who will shine bright tomorrow, inshallah. A leader who will face problems and know how to solve them, how to inspire others, rather than a person who, like many others, watches and cries for help around the world and feels sad and helpless, or just says, I wish somebody would do something about it. Who knows when they face problems, how to solve them, rather than be crushed under them. This is how we train our children to have the mentality of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My vision and my goal with Rising Heroes is to empower them with the power of Emaan, of the actions taken for the sake of Allah. I want to do my best to do whatever Allah has used, whatever Allah has given me, to help these children use whatever Allah has given them to help achieve great things for this ummah of ours. I will tell you honestly, I didn't think I had any chance to go to Jannah before I started Emaan Power. I actually specifically remember the day where I was walking somewhere where I asked myself this question. And for the first time, I felt like my answer is yes. I may be able to go to Jannah. I guess my self-esteem was that low that I didn't think I was worthy of entering Jannah. But now, when I am preparing a course, taking a class, making a video, I see hope that one day I too would see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala smiling at me. I see hope. And inshallah, maybe I can be in Jannah. Before I just felt like, oh, this is who are you? I'm not all worthy. Of course, that feeling is still there. Like, yeah, I totally deserve to be stuff. But I meet so many kids who are like that. I ask them, do you think you will be in Jannah? And they say, no, I'm a bad boy. I can't be in Jannah. And I get that feeling. I urge you to save your children from killing their time, killing themselves, and give them these opportunities. Help them find the treasures inside them. Use their gifts for their Rabb so they can value themselves. Make the choice to raise extraordinary Muslims, not just ordinary ones. That would be your greatest contribution to this world, inshallah. Or maybe one of your greatest contributions to this world. Make them extraordinary Muslims, not ordinary ones like many other who will never know what they were capable of because they lost so much time and opportunities when they were growing up. This ummah is in need of children of yours. They are the hope of tomorrow. But today, these tiny lights of hope are in our hands. We can dim them or we can help them shine bright. Light of the world. Today, the hope of the world is entrusted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to you. Mothers are always questioning themselves. Am I good enough? Can I do right by them? But remember, Allah decided to entrust this child to you. The hope of the world in your hands. We know Allah doesn't burden a soul more than it can bear. And He doesn't make any mistakes. He doesn't give you a test that you cannot excel at. So Allah knows that you can excel at this test. You are the best mother. You have the capability to be the best mother for this child. And that's why Allah chose you to be his or her mother. Allah knows you can excel at this test, whether you know it or not. We don't know if we will even see the future that these children are inshallah going to live. But with the help of Allah, we'll inshallah leave behind in them a source of goodness in them, just as generations before them did. Sorry, just as generation before us did. I hope and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can all fulfill our purpose of our lives as best as we can by using the gifts Allah has given us. So one day we can meet Him and hear Him say, He is pleased with us. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Jazakallah khair for listening to me. No, it's been quite a long time and you stayed with us. Jazakallah khair. I really appreciate. And I hope that you appreciated this webinar and you found it beneficial and it motivates you. And let me know your thoughts in the chat box. What did you think of the webinar? What did you find valuable? And I see register on the screen. That's to remind me if you are interested in Rising Heroes. So I did that last year and alhamdulillah, it's coming back this year. So we'll start in just a couple of weeks. We'll be starting Rising Heroes again. And you are welcome to register to it. It's for children 9 to 16. And last year I only took 40 kids, but alhamdulillah, this year we'll have more opportunity. But still, obviously, because I teach live as small classes, so we keep the numbers small. If you want more information about that, you can email us support@emaanpower.com. Jazakallah khair. It was really motivating. Inshallah, it also hit home. I will try to inspire my kids with me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you, Sister So I saw my journeys end. I saw my journeys end through this motivation. What do you mean, your journeys end? Our journey's beginning. So don't underestimate your kid. Oh yeah, by saying my kid's only 6. Inshallah. I've seen 60-year-olds do great stuff as well. I used to teach 60-year-olds before. Stop doing that. But I've seen 5-year-olds do incredible stuff, mashallah. I have the same tips. I don't have different tips. The same tips, whether they're 4-year-olds, they're 5-year-olds. Challenge them, put them in a struggle, and don't worry about, I don't think they can do it. Because you don't know what they can do. What's the worst that will happen? They will fail. They will not get the result that you wanted them to get. So what? That is not the point. And you need to teach them that that's not the point. The point is that you tried. Let's see what you learn from trying. So take this fear of failure out of it. Take your expectations out of it. Challenge them and challenge them beyond what you think that they are capable of. Not what school thinks, because school often has, except for, as I said, math, science, they have low expectations. So challenge them in ways that you didn't think and directions that you didn't think they can go to. But you are gonna have to give them a better purpose. The purpose cannot be that just do it. Or it cannot be do it because you will get a good job tomorrow. It will help you in getting a good job tomorrow. Because what is that? When we are telling kids, okay, go to school so you can get a good job tomorrow, then that's we basically telling go to school, earn money. So all that work is for earning money. And the kid sees the emptiness in that. More than ever, this generation sees the emptiness in that. That you want me to work so hard so I can make money tomorrow. And they don't feel motivated. If you want them to be motivated, give them a higher purpose. You use the 6 pillars of Emaan. Use them constantly. You want tips? 6 pillars of Emaan. Implement that. Use angels to remind them that Allah's help is there. Kids are so motivated by that. I use that all the time. The story of Qadr. And there's so many other stories. Then use the inspiration of the prophets, the wisdom of the Quran, but most of all, the purpose. Sister Noura's kids, mashallah, they have done almost now probably every course I've ever done. And they were rising heroes last time. They are rising heroes. And I would love it, Sister Noura, if you could share. Sister Noura said something so wonderful to me that I can never forget. And I have a life coach as well. So this was the thing I remember. For whatever reason, I was feeling really down at that time. And then I shared that with her, like, so lightning moment for me. She said to me after, when I finish a course, I go and have a meeting with parents often. And I did that with Rising Heroes. And she said, you gave me my son back. And she just said it. And I was like, wow, alhamdulillah. So, and it wasn't, and it actually, she said it. And then a day or two later, I met another parent who said the exact same thing to me. You gave me my daughter back. Because what was, I guess, happening was, as I was saying, as the kids start growing up and they reach these early teens and teenage years, their spirit is dying, their energy is dying because of all these other influences. And that came back, alhamdulillah. But what was the best part? I mean, even better than that, alhamdulillah, it was a moment for me. And then something happened after that really lifted me and really made me realize the significance of that course. And I think I was kind of looking for that moment. That is this going to happen? And the moment was, I started getting emails from students a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later. Different students had emailed me, Sister Ariba, I wanted to let you know that I have started this project. So now I could see this was permanent change. That these children are not just, that was fun and a great experience. I felt really good at that time. I did great work, but they had forever changed. They were now taking leadership on their own. And that's what Sister Noura had told me something. I don't know if she wanted me to say it, but that's what Muhammad, her son, had done something. So it showed me, okay, this is significant change. That not just in terms of the project he's done here, but he's changing his life. Alhamdulillah. Will you be doing a similar course for younger children? Probably not. But you can do this with your children at home. If your kids are younger, do it, challenge them beyond what you think they're capable of. My son learned a lot from the Ramadan video. And the Ramadan show, you did, I think, talking about the Ramadan chat show, those kids, majority of them, except for one or two, were all rising heroes. Are all rising heroes, alhamdulillah. Have you got a slide with a recap of 6 pillars? Yeah. And maybe if we can go to that, Sister Farheen. I'm Ariba Farheen, and she's also Farheen. I'm been confusing at times. I mean, that's that slide what I seen on the screen. Maybe we can share that too. That I was talking about my low expectations and children's high result. But anyways, let's go to the self-esteem 6 pillars. So the sister's asking and see it. Anyways, Jazakallah khair. And inshallah, I will see you sometime in future with something else. Of course, I'll be doing Facebook Live videos. I keep doing them as much regularly as I can, inshallah. So stay in touch there. And of course, you are on the mailing list probably. So I will see you there. And those of you who have kids in that age range, make sure you register them. So inshallah, they can benefit from that course. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. If you have questions, you can always, of course, email us later on too. Wa iyyakum, Sister Saima. Alaikum assalam. Sister Siti. Recording, it's on Facebook, so you can catch up there. We were broadcasting on Facebook today. Is the recording available? Yeah, as I said, you can catch up on Facebook. Oh, a lot of people missed a lot of it. Catch up on Facebook. Okay. See you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.